Hey Zomheads, DrLola, and we're going to talk about the Season 7 Walking Dead trailer that was released a few days ago. What can we find out about Season 7 from the trailer? I don't know, but let's take a look.
So don't shut me down and stay around.
So I'm not of the younger generation that has all this technological know-how. I'm old school, right? And I don't know how to do this any other way. So please excuse my ageism that's showing. And let's talk about the trailer, shall we? The beginning part of it shows our survivors. And basically what they're doing is showing significant relationships that the survivor has as Negan is doing his eeny, meeny, miny, mo thing. And so they show the main characters and their relationships to the other people, kind of like a teaser of what we've already seen, but kind of making it emotionally heightened by showing important people like Glenn with Maggie and Sasha and Abraham and all that stuff. So they're trying to tease us and show us a different point of view of Negan's Lucille, which, by the way, we found out that Lucille was the name of his wife that died of cancer. That gives us a little bit more insight on where Negan is coming from, naming his bat, which he loves so much, Lucille, after his deceased wife. Some people were upset that they didn't show Bob in this segment, but they're showing people who have the connections and relationships that are all alive. They didn't show any deceased characters. And they're basically pointing out how vulnerable each character is and trying to show us that nobody is safe. That was just their way of doing it. And I think it's very interesting too that they're showing, like, everybody's saying we can do this, we can do it together, but at the same time, the eerie sound of Negan doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo is taking place. So it's showing the conflict that the group's in, like kind of like a narcissistic viewpoint that they had before, which I wouldn't call it narcissistic. To me, it was just being optimistic and teamwork, and the fact that, you know, positive psychology, that they're boosting themselves up, that we can do this, but we have to stick together, we can do this. And then the writers or the director is kind of saying, well, wait, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I don't know if you can do this. And so they're showing the conflicting, opposing views at the same time, which I think is rather brilliant. At the same time, they're running it parallel, kind of like a yin and a yang. And they're showing Judith in there, you know, who has a lot to lose should her father or her brother get Lucilled. They're reminding us of innocent little Judith. They're showing Lucille in all of Lucille's grandeur and each of their faces in fear and shivering. And now we come to the actual part of... Okay, so let's pause this a minute. So that scene was Morgan saying, I'm not going to let you die out there. And there's a group of people. They're walking towards the city. And it probably is him talking to Carol saying, I'm not going to let you die out there. And they're taking her to the kingdom. You can see the horses. You see the horses. The next part of the trailer has a few hints. One, we know that we're at the sanctuary, or the factory, like I like to call it. I call it the factory because that's where they're at. They're inside of an old factory. But there's letters on some of the sweatshirts. One was an F, the other one is an S. And so they show walkers chained up. Negan uses walkers as a defense. He uses them on stakes. He ties them up. He keeps them alive, not alive, unalive, I guess, dead alive, for protection outside the sanctuary. And you can see the pipes here. That's part of the factory. That's how I know that that's where they're at, is at the sanctuary, which is the factory where Negan's main place is. He's got several outposts, but where Negan stays is a huge abandoned factory. The people that are alive in this picture actually have the words on their sweatshirt. And you can see this guy, he's got a bucket and he's pouring it by the Zoms. And so he's probably feeding them. I mean, the zombies aren't going to be really useful if they are decaying and hungry. They're more immobile. So my guess is he's feeding them human parts. That's what it looks like to me. The next scene we go is still at the factory, and it is Dwight. Now he's eating something. I don't know what kind of food he has, but he's up top of the factory and he's eating something, and he's wearing a jacket that kind of looks like Daryl's jacket. So, you know, there's been a lot of speculation and teasing that Daryl and Dwight are too similar to be in the same show, and I totally disagree. I don't think that they're going to have a problem working together, and I know that's not a popular opinion, but I just feel like that Dwight was switching sides. So he was running away from the Saviors, and then he went back to the Saviors, and he got punished. Negan, you know, scars his face up by hot ironing his face, and so then now he's loyal, right? And so if you take anybody and hot iron their face and threaten to do worse things, I think you would have at least a little time afterwards that you would be loyal. But I don't think he's going to stay loyal the whole time. I think that he's actually going to start looking out for Daryl, to try to keep him safe out of Negan's way, to keep him alive, help him out, give him a few tips like shut up, do what he says. And then I think there's going to be some type of bromanship there. Remember that Daryl's brother was pretty twisted as well. So Daryl's got experience, you know, having relationships, i.e. Merle, who was twisted and messed up. And Daryl was able to handle that. So I think he had to look past a lot of abuses that Merle did over his life. And I know he's his brother, but still in this situation, and he's going to be at the sanctuary, which is where I think that Daryl's going to wind up. The only person that he has any relationship with is going to be Dwight. And at one time they were on the same side, even though Dwight screwed him over. Still, I think that they'll work through that. But I don't think they're going to get rid of Daryl. They can do that. They can have Dwight assist our survivors in defeating Negan without getting rid of Daryl. A voiceover over this picture, but he's saying everything's his or it will be, which is kind of learned helplessness, right?
Or will be. Everything's his or will be.
I'm not sure who he's telling that to. It doesn't look like Daryl, but he is telling that to somebody. Okay, so that's kind of like a learned helplessness type thing. You know, Dwight is saying everything's his or will be. So at least right now, Dwight's in a corner and he's following because he has to. And he just gotten punished, and now he is like a loyal troopster until he realizes that there is option B. And then we have Negan swinging the bat. The picture of Carol, she is still injured. She's got that bandage on her arm. This is pre-kingdom. She's not at the kingdom yet. The bandage is on her arm, and she's still in some kind of wagon, I guess, going to the kingdom. The next clip is You Earn What You Take. It shows Negan walking and everybody kneeling, kind of like a king to show respect, or plainly and clearly out of fear. So you can see that they've got like a chicken coop thing there, and there's vegetables in the back. So they're definitely got supplies. I was watching a video where the person said like Negan's not that bad. He's developed a system to help people stay alive. No, Negan is really that bad. And he's been bad since the beginning. You know, I know that people say, oh, but he loved his wife. Okay. And there's all different types of love. Then you have a lady, she's saying, whatever he's done to you, he can do worse. I could be the new one, Olivia. But I heard that both the new ones, Olivia and the grandma one, I heard that they're both supposed to die. Like, horrible death. Then you see Lenny James, Morgan, who is absolutely a sweetie pie. He is sitting in what looks like a room, like hospital beds, right? So Carol's probably in some type of infirmary at the kingdom. Spencer saying, hey, we should have made a deal with them when we could. Of course, you can see behind him, he's in Alexandria. Then you see some Zoms coming out.
There is no door number 4.
And he's talking to somebody in Alexandria saying there's no door number 4. So he's clearly making himself at home with some lemonade. He's got his arm auspiciously behind, I don't remember her name, the lady that does the food for Alexandria, and he's making himself at home, and she clearly looks uncomfortable. He's drinking like lemonade sitting there. What does that look like back there? Siding, right? So that looks like Alexandria, and so that wouldn't be Daryl. I don't think he would take him back there. And here shows Dwight. Now, interesting with Dwight, he kind of is looking down and then he starts looking up and there's this huge shadow. And I still don't know what that is. It looks like a shape of a building. I mean, maybe he's come up across the building and he's looking up at it. But there's a road. There's not going to be a building in the middle of the road. I am so curious to see what this is. I wonder if it's him finding the kingdom. Oh, he already knows where the kingdom is, though. I'm pretty sure. Next is a car chase. And that's the kingdom. So in the trailer, the blue car turns around, and this is what is seen. See the truck and the 2 motorcycles. And here we can see that Dwight is in front of that truck with another lady, and he is pointing his gun away from the truck, which tells me that he was not in the blue car and the motorcycle in front of the truck. He was actually in the truck behind the car and the motorcycle. So there were 2 motorcycles, one on each side of the truck, and so that must be Negan's people. I don't know who he's chasing, though, in the blue vehicle. This is back at the kingdom. There's a whole bunch of zombies. You can see there's somebody's face in the car. Ezekiel, I don't know if you noticed, but you can see Ezekiel and Morgan's shadow back here. And I didn't see that in the beginning, but Greg Nicotero had talked about that Morgan, I mean, now that I look at it, I can see it, but it's really hard to see, and it's almost like a reflection in the window. This is also part of the kingdom, somebody fighting the zombies. They must have attacked the kingdom. You've got Morgan. Obviously he would be fighting if he was at the kingdom and they got hit with a bunch of zombies or walkers, sorry. I keep getting like the Z Nation, it's zombies and zoms and puppies and kittens, and the Walking Dead is walkers. Or Fear is what? Bloaters? Floaters? Oh, there's too many terminologies. Alright, anyway, it does make sense that Morgan would be fighting walkers because he's at the kingdom, and the walkers are attacking the kingdom, which likely the saviors are the ones that brought the walkers. I've been pausing and stopping this, and I still can't tell what it is. Like, is it a zombie? Is it a person? It honestly kind of looks like a zombie. Then we see some hogs eating people or zombies, and we come back to the hilltop, and again, somebody from the hilltop fighting walkers. They do a really good job at not showing us our survivors. Anybody that was in a lineup on the second half of the trailer is not going to be seen. More walkers, and this looks like still the kingdom. Sorry for the glare. This is Jesus fighting walkers at the hilltop, and you can see right here there's 2 hilltoppers hanging. So it looks like the hilltop was attacked as well. So you can see Jesus, he's fighting, and there's people up top. You see that? So there's the hanging bodies, and there are people. So that's very intriguing. Still no answers, but why are, if they're Hilltoppers, why are they just standing there with bodies dangling? And if there's Negan's people, why are they just standing there? So we go to car scenes, you know, action, zoom, zoom. Zoom, 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 show us some, up, up, up. Morgan. So Morgan fighting at the kingdom, and the next thing we're going to see, and I'm going to try to slow-mo it, is Negan giving somebody the Lucille. Is it a zombie? Is it one of his worker people? I don't know. Let's see if we can find out. So that's the image. I think they're intending it to be one of his workers in front of a truck. Most of the time, if this is, but this is not at the sanctuary. Well, it could be. There's a car there with those spiky things coming out of it, right there. It looks to me that they're intending it to be like somebody that he Lucille's, like one of his people. And this is intriguing. Remember when Tiffany and I were talking and we were looking at the episodes being filmed and all that, and we talked about in the comics how Carl sneaks into one of their trucks to get back to the sanctuary to kill Negan, which he doesn't, but look at this scene. This is somebody climbing into the back of a truck, and it's Jesus. So maybe Jesus, which yes, they did film Jesus and Carl on the same day. Maybe Jesus and Carl go to the sanctuary. So maybe Jesus, which yes, they did film Jesus and Carl on the same day. Maybe Jesus and Carl go to the sanctuary. So Carol, okay, she's like, I don't know what the hell's going on in the most fabulous way. She's cleaned up. We know that the kingdom is in a high school area, you know, a high school and a high school property, and we see an auditorium there. So she's obviously cleaned up. She's obviously being interviewed, and she is saying, I don't know what's going on in the most glorious way. So is she pulling a fast one? You know, her little innocent brain games until she figures out if she can trust them? Maybe. I don't think she's lost her rocker yet. I don't know. This kind of looks like factory windows and stuff there. See that? This could be the kingdom, or it could be the sanctuary. And then you have, this would be the sanctuary. You have zombies with spikes coming out of them. Negan uses zombies to protect his exterior. Oh, yep, you see he's banging on Alexandria. This might be, you know, they jumbled this all up. This is like before he gets in and has the lemonade, the little visit. Then we have King Ezekiel. Woohoo! Excited to see King Ezekiel. Ooh, King Ezekiel. We're happy to have you. Welcome. And they show Morgan pushing Carol. Obviously, this is pre-zombie attack. And she's all cleaned up, and he's all cleaned up, and they're walking around the kingdom. You know, they did a really good job. I mean, it looks very high school campusy with the gazebo and stuff like that. So then they show the kingdom's people on their horses, and we have Enid, and Enid is carrying a backpack, and she's probably going to be leaving. I wonder if Enid has a connection with the Saviors. There were a couple episodes where she was acting funny and she disappeared, and then she was telling Carl like that it was easy to get them in or something like that. Remember that very vague comment she made? But she definitely looks like she's leaving there, and she doesn't look happy. King Ezekiel looks ticked off. He's looking down. He just put his sword into something. We've got somebody from the kingdom. You can see the makeshift armor there. Oh, I didn't even notice that. King Ezekiel is also there with him. See him through the window? The dreads. Yeah, motorcycle action. I mean, they really have done a good job not to let us see where our survivors are at or who's missing. So King Ezekiel around the fire, probably talking to his bud there. But he's definitely disturbed. And then we have more truck and car action. It's going to be an action-packed season, that's for sure. So that is Gregory. He is at the hilltop looking out the window. This is probably like when he notices the attack. Stephen Ogg with a group of thugs. So, okay, so this has got wooden, this looks like the hilltop. So it does appear that they've attacked the hilltop. And then the end. I love this. I know it's CG. But the reason why they decided to go with CG is just for the actors' safety, and they felt it would be cruel to the animal to keep them on set. So I give them kudos for that. They'll come up with ingenious ways to let us have our Sheva. We gotta watch this. Oh yeah. Woohoo! I like it. So you have Negan against now the Kingdom. The Walking Dead universe is like expanding. Oh, okay, Tara. We're gonna see what's happened to Tara. After the lion roared, they gave us a little bit more. They gave us some of Tara. So it looks like we're gonna see what happened to her during those 2 weeks that her and Seth were gone. And so here she is. She's hiding. Something must have happened. She looks scared to me. Okay, so she's hiding from somebody. There's somebody running there, right there, and she's hiding from them, clearly fearful for her life. And then there's zombies coming out of like sand pits. They're getting more creative. There's Seth shooting one of the zombies coming from the sand pit. And there are, it looks like military trucks there. You know, it all goes so fast, but that does look like a military truck by the zombie. Then you have Tara jumping up on a car and these weird walkers. This actually looks like somebody from Z Nation, but this is The Walking Dead. So I don't know who that is. That's got to be a savior, because I do not see that fabricated armor for it to be a Kingdom person. And then they show Tara. Oh, okay. So, you see this military type netting? All right, so behind Seth, we have that military truck, that sand truck. Then you have sand pit with zombies. And then you have this netting. And then you have that lady shooting that military weapon. So it looks like they stumbled on maybe another group. And then here's Seth opening up a tent. And somebody is behind him. But it's not Tara. More military people shooting. So there's definitely a different element. And then look at the sand zombies. They're all coming out. You see the... What is that behind them? Looks like stairs and stuff and tents. Okay, I do not know where these zombies came from. I don't know where that sand place is. It definitely doesn't appear to be the Kingdom or the Hilltop or Alexandria. And then here's another lady with the gun. Who is that? Yeah, that's not anybody we know. Okay, so October 23rd, 2016. That's when we're going to see the season premiere. I'm very excited, very excited. Ooh. And we have a lot to look forward to. It looks like it's action-packed. Looks like there might be even another group that we don't know about with the sandpit walkers and the military people. And then we've got the Hilltop being attacked. We have the Kingdom being attacked. We have Sheva has arrived. Now, I don't think they're going to like take her everywhere, but they're going to have to show the CG tiger at least a bit. So I think we will get some Sheva. And we'll find out who got Lucilled. They did a very good job at not leaking anything out. If you guys saw Easter eggs that I missed, leave a comment below. Let us know what they are. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you are a subscriber, leave a comment. Let's talk about this. And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. We've got a lot more stuff coming, and that way you won't miss anything that we put out. And let me know if you liked a video like this, because if you did like this, going through it together, then maybe I'll do more, because this is the first one I've done like that. I've been kind of shy to do them because I don't have like editing equipment to like put the film like in the corner. So this was the only way I could think of doing it. But we do the best that we can do, right? The best we can do. Anyway, thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you later. Bye. Woohoo! I like it. So you have Negan against now the kingdom. The Walking Dead universe is like expanding. Okay.